Verbal reasoning is one of the hardest sections in the UCAT. It is a section which people tend to score the lowest on, but don't worry, with the tips that I will be giving you in this video, hopefully it will boost your verbal reasoning score so that you can get on your way to getting into your dream university. This video is also very kindly sponsored by Medica, and make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end to find out about a giveaway that can help you score high in the UCAT. So, verbal reasoning consists of 44 questions that need to be done in 21 minutes, giving you on average just about 29 seconds per question. In verbal reasoning, you'll be faced with two types of questions. Type 1 is true, false or can't tell questions, and type 2 are statement-based questions. I'll firstly be talking about how you should approach the true, false and can't tell questions. When tackling these types of questions, it's essential that you look at the question before anything else. Before you even read the passage, always go straight to the question first. Read the question very carefully, and once you have done so, pick out a key word in the question. I would recommend going for something like a date, for example, a year, or something like a proper noun, which could be a name. These will be things which are really easy to spot in the long passage because they'll be either numbers or have a capital letter at the start. Once we've picked a key word, we can then use something called selective reading. This involves first identifying the key word in the passage that we have. So what you should do is just scan the passage looking just for that keyword and seeing if you can spot it anywhere. Once you've identified where the keyword is located, read the sentence before it, read the sentence that's in it, and read the sentence after it. This will give you a good idea about what is going on relating to that keyword specifically. Then normally it's a good idea to just double check the passage that the keyword isn't mentioned anywhere else, and if it is, make sure you read the sentence before the one it's in and the one after, just to make sure that there isn't something contradictory in that part of the text. After this, go back to the question and identify if it's true, false or can't tell. Normally from just your selective reading, you should have a pretty good idea of what the answer will be, but if you're unsure, give it your best guess, flag it and come back at the end if you have time when you can read the passage again properly. The true, false or can't tell questions come in a set of 4 for each passage, so I recommend for the 4 questions spending about 1 minute on total, which should give you a lot more time on some of the more difficult questions that are later to come. For statement-based questions, I advise that you once again start off by reading the question. The tricky thing with statement-based questions is that the options can be quite long and quite confusing as well because they themselves are sentences, but the best place to start is by reading all the options available to you. From there, I would use a similar selective reading technique, this time selecting keywords from the answer options available. Then read the sentences around those keywords and they should give you a good idea about if the statement is applicable to the question. This can help you eliminate some answers which you will know are wrong and can also identify the one which is right. Once you identify the one which you think is right, I would just recommend picking that one and not bothering looking at any remaining options you have available. This is because this section is very time pressured, so it's worth having trust in your best guess and coming back to it at the end just to double check if you have that time extra. So those are just some of the basic approaches that I would recommend for taking with verbal reasoning. But now let's look at how you can actually develop some of the skills that are required for this section. The main thing that helps a lot with verbal reasoning is speed reading. But how exactly do we speed read? I myself am naturally quite a slow reader, so this was something that I had to develop as a skill while studying for the UCAT. The first thing I realised was that I was in the bad habit of saying every word that I read in my head, which meant that I was limited to reading the passage in what would normally be my speech speed. If you want to be able to speed read, you need to get out of the habit of saying every single word in your head or subtly mouthing them with your mouth. One way I found I was able to get out of this habit was by following the text with the cursor and moving the cursor fairly quickly so that I was forced to just read through it without thinking of the actual word in my head. I felt this definitely helped me improve my reading speed. Another method that can help you read faster is something called chunking. This might sound a bit unusual at first, but what this involves is splitting every section into 3 chunks. From there, you can just focus your eyes on one of the 3 chunks at a time so that you're only making 3 glances for every line on the page. What we normally do when we read is sort of follow the page along in like a steady motion, but with chunking, the benefit is that you just quickly glance at the 3 sections, and what you'll find is that just from the glances, you're able to sort of identify keywords in there that give you a general gist about what the sentence is about and greatly reduces your reading time. I say it's just worth practicing the speed reading anytime you get, whether this is just reading the news in the morning or while you're eating your breakfast, just reading the back of the cereal box and practicing reading it quickly. If you can read quickly, that can definitely help a lot with the timing in this section. Now for just some general advice. My first piece of advice is start with time practice as soon as you can for verbal reasoning. Generally, verbal reasoning is something that we're not too unfamiliar with because a lot of us will do English at school where we learn these comprehension skills. What is super difficult and makes this section so hard is the time pressure that you're under. So by doing time and practice questions as soon as you can, you will get into the habits that you need in order to do well in this section and give yourself an edge over people who aren't doing the time practice. My next piece of advice is don't be afraid if you come across a question with a long passage of text that looks pretty complicated to just guess, flag and skip it and then come back at the end, hopefully if you have time. What I did was for any of the long passages that I just really thought would take a lot of my time to answer, I just guessed randomly for them, flagged them, then came back at the end. What I would say is worth doing is just noting how many questions you are skipping on your whiteboard, because then you know how much sort of time you need to leave at the end so that you can give your best guess. But it's not worth taking a lot of time from the questions which you have a short passage from in order to do the long questions first. I would just leave them for the end. And my final piece of advice is that if something can definitely be inferred from the passage, then it means it is true. I think at the start of my revision I was often putting can't tell for questions where it was actually true. This might be when in the question it says, for example, at the start, Lisa was born in 1976. But then at the end of the passage it would say something like, in 2010 she started her own bakery. And then the statement might be, is this true or false? Lisa started her own bakery when she was 34. Now if you looked at the passage and you looked for the word 34, you wouldn't find it anywhere, and there's nowhere in the passage where it says she started the bakery at 34. But if you inferred from her date of birth and the year they said she started the bakery, you would know for definite that she did start the bakery at 34. In these questions you might be tempted to put can't tell because it's not explicit, but if it can reliably be inferred from the question, then you should avoid putting can't tell. That being said, a lot of the time the questions are can't tell, so don't be afraid to put that if you genuinely do think you can't tell from the information you're given in the passage. So hopefully some of the tips in this video will help you with your verbal reasoning, but make sure you keep watching to hear about a giveaway that I'm doing with Medicut that will help you along with your UCAT revision. I am so excited to announce that I will be giving away this Master the UCAT book kindly sent to me by Medicut. This book is an Amazon bestseller and is made by people who have scored in the top 1% in the UCAT. It contains all the key strategies you need to be able to score highly in every single section of the UCAT. All you have to do to win this book is subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below, and you are automatically entered into this giveaway. There is no limit on the number of comments you can leave, and the winner will be randomly selected on July the 1st, 2021. This is a UK only giveaway, so give it your best shot if you're from the UK, and hopefully one of you will be winning this Master the UCAT book so that you can score very high in the UCAT as well. Medicut also offer an amazing UCAT masterclass course which contains over 9 hours of teaching jam-packed into just one day. You go through every section in thorough detail and you're taught the key strategies and techniques that you need to score high. You also get given practice questions and mini mocks along the way. And throughout the day you will be taught by UCAT experts who can tell you exactly the strategies you need to be using to score very highly in the UCAT. The course also includes a copy of the Master the UCAT ebook worth $14.99. Normally this course would cost you £99, but very kindly Medicut is offering you guys a 10% discount if you use code SHAAN10 at checkout, meaning that instead of costing you £99, it will now cost you £89.10. That's code SHAAN10 at checkout. In my opinion, this is definitely a worthwhile investment if you want to maximise your chance of scoring high in the UCAT and hopefully getting into your dream university. Use the link in the description as well as code SHAAN10 at checkout to book yourself onto Medicut's amazing UCAT online masterclass. Medicut also offer one-to-one UCAT tutoring, BMAT and interview masterclasses which also may help you further down the line in your medical application. Thank you so much for getting to this point in the video. I hope you were able to learn something new that will hopefully help you push your scores even higher in the UCAT, and best of luck. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel because throughout June I will be posting more UCAT videos going through every single section to hopefully help you guys at home score as well as you can in the UCAT. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Love is all you want.